They've inhabited the Earth for 400 million years, and they know how to survive. They're built to swarm, to hunt, and to kill. They outnumber us by billions. And when our world collides with theirs, the outcome can be horrifying. I'm Phil DeVries, and I've got the most awesome job a bug guy can have.
That's pretty cool.
My assignments have taken me all over the world, tracking down the scariest, weirdest, most disgusting bugs.
Come on in.
Some people find it gross. And you know what? So do I. But I'm in bug heaven. This time, I'm in search of the most amazing bugs with that powerful and deadly chemical weapon, venom. As a bug scientist, I've had close encounters with just about every kind of creeping thing there is. But the bugs that really make me nervous are the ones with venom. And I say, it's about time to face that fear. So I'm taking a trip. If it's got venom, I'm after it. First, it's a journey into pain, when venom gets in the veins.
Yo!
Then, I get up close and personal with an army of toxins.
Put your hand, throw on your hand.
Check. And it's all leading up to the ultimate test, to see if I can go face to face with one of the most painful stingers on Earth.
I'm out of here.
Venom is a premium tool in an arsenal of weapons. Some bugs use venom to get dinner, and others use it to avoid being dinner. I figure the best way to get to know this multi-purpose liquid is to experience it directly into my veins. And I'm a little apprehensive right now because I'm with the king of sting, Dr. Justin Smith. He studies, well, pain, actually. So, Justin, what attracted you to pain?
Well, pain's very effective. It tells you a message, leave me alone. And so I wanted to know, well, how effective is it and how do we measure it?
So what's the relation between pain and venom?
Basically, it's hard for us to ask an animal how much it hurts. So what we do is, from our own human point of view, determine how much it hurts and then say, we're a typical predator. Most others probably react like we do.
So Justin developed the Schmidt Pain Index. He gets hapless human subjects to take stings in the name of science. They rate the pain on a scale of 1 to 4.
Now that you're here, I was hoping maybe you'd be willing to volunteer.
Yeah, Justin, I sort of was afraid you were going to say that. What do you got?
This is the hairy scorpion, and he's the tough guy in the block.
All right, let's get this over with. Bet you can't guess why they call it the hairy scorpion, huh? Do not try this at home.
Ooh. Yo! There it is.
I'm not sure I like this. Apparently, scorpions can decide how much venom they're going to inject depending on how they feel, how much of a threat you are. So they can put in a little as a warning, or they can put a lot as a really strong warning, or to kill something, their prey, like me. Whoa.
Oh,
Not in the vein, man. Not in the vein. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Wow. Ooh, there. I could even see the glisten of a little bit of the venom on the end of the stinger there.
Well, it's stinging. It's I can feel there's it's heating up. It's more than heating up, actually. I can feel the venom sort of moving across the surface of my skin.
As soon as the venom enters my bloodstream, it begins to alter my nervous system. I feel pain, heat, and my heart rate increases.
What it feels like is a burning sensation right now.
Even though this experiment seems a little crazy, we learned something new.
Ow!
On a scale of 1 to 4,
Wow.
this sting was a 1. And that makes sense, given how venom works in scorpions. Venom is really the final blow in a 1-2 punch. Scorpions are solitary hunters. Typically, they attack with sharp pinchers. Fantastic, lethal cutlery that mince their prey. And if that doesn't work, they'll whip their tails and deploy their secret weapon: venom. But some venom does more damage than others. The giant hairy scorpion doesn't need really nasty venom to get by in life. That's because its claws are massive enough to crush whatever prey comes its way. For those less well endowed, strong venom gives them that little something extra they need to survive. Powerful claws, weak venom. Wimpy claws, watch out.
Ow!
When scorpions cross paths with people, they sting defensively. Since they're loners, we usually only get one sting at a time. Not so with these little demons. If you tread on their turf, they'll come at you from every direction. This venom is programmed to be deployed in mass attacks. They're an army of one powerful force that won't quit until it dominates the enemy. I'm down in the American South, searching for one of the most ruthless invaders to use venom.
They're the bane of my existence.
They're nasty little critters.
Oh, I despise them. I don't like them. I think they're dangerous.
It's nearly impossible to prevent the onslaught. They invade your yard, your home, your food, and your most private places.
What's worse than a really bad bite or sting? A whole lot of really bad bites and stings. And that's what fire ants are all about. Sane people, well, they learn to avoid them. But you see that guy over there? Well, he's different. Let's go meet Mike. Hey, Mike.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. Doing good.
Good. Looking for your little friends?
Yeah.
Dr. Mike Goodisman is a fire ant researcher at the Georgia Institute of Technology. He wants ants, and he wants them now.
We have to move fast because once the mound is disturbed, all the ants will go to the bottom. They'll dive down, they'll take the brood and all the queens, which is what we really want.
Okay.
So once you start digging, you have to dig pretty quick.
1, 2, and a 3.
Go.
We're collecting them for an experiment to understand how they sting.
Oh, look at there.
Fire ants come from as far as the Amazon, and they're spreading fast. They've already stung their way through 260 million acres in the U.S., taking territory at a rate of some 50 miles a year. Mike Goodisman is on the front lines of defense. You have to know the enemy to fight the invasion. It's important work because when fire ants attack, the result is not pretty. Their venom contains an alkaloid that is toxic to cells, causing burning pustules. In rare cases, the stings trigger a deadly allergic reaction.
What's with the shorts?
When you go collecting enough nests, you're going to get stung. There's no question about it. And so I like to know about it early, rather than have them crawl up my pants legs or something like that.
As the urban legend goes, when fire ants sting, they do it all at once. But is this really true? Mike and I are going to test that hypothesis on ourselves.
Let's go.
We've got thousands of ants. Let's see what kind of damage they can do. Ants like to stick together. They hunt, eat, and sting together. And when they respond to a flood, they actually form a raft together to save the queen and her brood. And we're going to take advantage of that behavior to separate them from the dirt. First, add water to trigger the floating response. As the ants scramble to the surface, the dirt sinks. When the ant raft is done, scoop them out with a pasta skimmer.
Can I do it?
Sure. Well, you have to put a glove on and you have to talc that up, otherwise they're going to be up on your hand before you know it.
Oh, wow.
So let's protect you from them.
Oh, okay. I've snapped on the gloves.
Ready.
It kind of looks like, you know, deep-fried ants with that little popping sound on there. Shh.
There you go. Excellent.
Now, we drain the excess water out of this. You don't salt and pepper or
To taste, you know.
Just to taste, okay. And these little fire ant popovers are going down.
Excellent.
There you go. Look at there. Coming
Very
down.
good.
Let phase 2 begin. Test the urban myth. Do they or do they not sting simultaneously? How many ants do you think we've got in there?
I'd say around 20,000.
20,000 ants. That's 20,000 fire ants. 20,000 fire ants all stinging in one great big constellation of pain.
Yeah.
I'd like to at least try and avoid experimenting on myself, so I brought in a couple of assistants. Subject number 1.
My friend's going in.
The inanimate, stationary thing. Do they all sting at once? The ants are swarming, but we don't see much stinging action. Probably because our assistant is not moving, and they're onto the fact that she's not much of a threat.
All right.
Subject number 2, the moving thing.
They're definitely stinging it.
So the ants see Santa as a threat, and they're stinging him, but we still can't tell if they're doing it all at once. We've run out of subjects, and there's only one thing left to do.
Subject number 3. I'm going in. Dive. You know, come on, guys. Oh, there, Lou, we got some serious stinging here. They're all stinging, but I can feel others that are still walking around, so they're not simultaneously stinging, even though that one is bugging me a little bit.
Fire ants don't sting exactly in unison, but I can see why people think so. It usually starts with one ant. When it senses motion, it'll trigger a silent alarm that calls in the rest of the troops. This chemical communication is also what makes them so successful at going after prey many times their size. Big meals don't intimidate them at all. A scout checks out this giant. a newly molted dragonfly. Then, the scout releases a chemical that says, "Over here, guys." Once the victim is under enemy control, it is swarmed, stung, and beheaded. So this is venom with a pretty clear message. Stay away or else. But where I'm going, the venom is anything but straightforward. Here, it is so peculiar and so potent, it has become the stuff of real-life nightmares.
Venom is pretty scary stuff. And what we've seen so far, that's just the beginning. Here in Australia, there are creatures that have venom cocktails so mysterious, well, it just goes beyond scary. You'll see.
I'm hunting for the most dangerous and powerful venoms, and that's why I've come to Venom Heaven. Why is venom here so potent and strange? No one knows for sure, but it probably has to do with being far away from everything else. The Australian landmass was isolated from the rest of the world for over 30 million years. This allowed a whole lot of creatures to evolve differently from others on the planet, and that includes the toxic ones. They're dangerous to humans because, like most venomous beasts, they're skilled at defending against animals that have a similar physiology to our own. One of the strangest is a spider that wins top prize for making my skin crawl. Over a decade ago, people across Australia started reporting strange symptoms. They had one thing in common. All claimed they were bitten by an unassuming spider. A creature that lurks not only in the forest, but in Australia's populated centers. Anne Lenan, a sales clerk and mother of 4, was one of the unfortunate victims.
Well, I took the washing out to the clothesline. Hung a few things out and then got to a towel and started to hang it out.
In a flash, Anne's life changed forever.
And there I was bitten on the back of my hand. And within, say, half an hour, it was up in the size of a, like a big blood blister.
Anne says she was bitten by a white-tailed spider, a creature so common people rarely thought of it as a menace.
I knew, like, it was a bad bite, but I didn't really think it was going to do anything drastic like it's done to me.
Soon her bite transformed into lesions all over her body, leaving horrible scars. Doctors gave her antibiotics, but things only got worse.
There's no movement of my knee whatsoever, basically. You know, because it just crunches and, you know, you can hear it. Yeah.
Constant pain set in, and the lesions grew. Doctors suggested it was stress.
No, I think I should. I can't stand it. I cannot stand the pain. It is day in, day out, all the time. I have no life.
What is in the spider venom that causes this terrible illness? Some Australian spiders have cytotoxic venom. When it enters the body, it releases an enzyme that slowly eats away at cell membranes. This is the spider's way of liquefying its victims' insides, so it can slurp them up. In people, it can result in horrifying wounds called necrotic ulcers. It's like throwing acid on the flesh from the inside. The only problem is, white-tailed spider venom isn't powerful enough to cause this kind of damage. At least according to venom experts like Jamie Seymour.
There is no hard evidence that I know of or I've seen published in Australia that implicates white-tailed spider bites in any necrotic arachnism at all, full stop.
And yet, the reports keep coming in, similar symptoms after a white-tail bite.
Humans don't want to, they always want to be able to blame it on something. Okay, so if we can blame it on a white-tailed spider. I saw one of those running through the house and it bit me. That must be the case. But there's no evidence of someone going, they've been bitten, brought in the spider and gone, here's the spider, here's the bite wound, and getting a necrotic tissue death component to it. It just doesn't happen.
I did not have a sick day in my life until I had this bite. I know it was a white-tailed spider.
For Anne, the pain has become a life sentence. It's hard to know what to think. Even if the whitetail is not the culprit, who can blame Anne and other victims for wanting some answers? After all, Australia is the land of terrifying venoms. It doesn't take a big leap of imagination to think they've made their way into you. Meet the jumper ant. It's like a venom bomb. Not only is it very poisonous, but it's so confident it casually sneaks up and jumps at you. Then it thrusts its stinger into your flesh and injects a venom so noxious it can trigger a massive allergic reaction. It's called anaphylactic shock, and it can choke the life out of you. You want to do everything possible to stay away from these guys, unless of course you're foolish, like me.
You know, I may look like I'm nervous about
I just have saw in your hand.
Da-da-da, thanks. That was good.
You know, while we're here at this ant nest, we want to collect these things quickly, efficiently, and most importantly, we don't want to get stung.
There's a crazy guy who gets into this situation almost every day. Venom researcher Dr. Simon Brown has been stung over 50 times while collecting the venom. A recent sting nearly killed him.
A couple of years ago, I got into the research. I got stung through my jeans on the knee. And within about 5 minutes, I went bright red, got bad asthma, collapsed unconscious. And I was able to get 2 shots of adrenaline into myself before I hit the dust.
After that pleasant little episode, Simon is more determined than ever to collect venom for a desensitizing serum he's developed. About 5% of people in his native Tasmania have severe reactions from jumper ant stings, and some die.
Every time you get stung, it's like throwing a dice. You don't know whether the body's going to develop an immune reaction, so the next time you get stung, you have the anaphylaxis.
And the scary thing is, in recent years, more and more people have been stung by these ants. Why? The answer? People. As development spreads, habitats are destroyed, and creatures get pushed out. One such evicted resident is this guy, the spiny anteater. It's the jumper ant's main natural enemy. With fewer predators, jumpers thrive, and now they seem to be everywhere. Simon invites me into the bush to collect these dreaded warriors. Understandably, he's a little nervous.
All right, Bill, here's one. Just here. They're starting to pour out now.
And that makes me a little nervous.
We should watch each other, so we just keep an eye on each other's legs, and we're all taped up, so we've got our adrenaline standing by.
The best way to collect the ants is to suck them up. The worst part about this is you never know where the ants are coming from. When they spot you, they'll creep on the ground, up the trees, and then leap off to ambush you.
You've already got a problem. Just watch where you put your feet.
Okay.
And be aware of each other, so that you look out for each other.
There's one on you.
Oh, there's two. What's it doing here? Okay, point taken.
Most ants crawl around and sting, but what makes these girls so terrifying is all the jumping. They have spring-loaded back legs that snap forward, catapulting them 5 centimeters at a time. It may not seem far, but it's almost 3 times their body length. And they come at you with their jaws open. Sucking the ants up is the easy part. Now we've got to get them out and into a container without one breaking free and attacking.
I am thoroughly. What's the medical? No, it's not anxious. It's very nervous.
Careful.
Be very, very careful. This is ugly.
Okay, you ready? This is the good bit.
Okay.
Look out, what's going on in your hand?
Put that back there. You're all over the filter. Good God. Wow.
I can't believe we didn't get stung during the transfer. But I spoke too soon.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
seriously.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Do we need to worry about this?
If I go really red,
Yeah.
and then start feeling dizzy, I can collapse pretty quickly. Okay. All right. So in the pack, we've got plenty of adrenaline.
In the pack.
Just in case. First thing I notice, I get really flushed and hot and have breathing problems. Just keep an eye on me, and if I look really bad.
So what's it feel like?
Oh, it just feels burning and stinging, and you can feel it just trapping up your hand a little bit. It's like almost like a nauseous feeling.
So you're not at all worried? I mean, you just told me you had almost died from one of these things.
Yeah, but remember, I desensitized myself.
Simon has been dosing himself with his desensitizing serum, so he doesn't think he'll get a reaction this time. But I'm a little worried about him. Simon wants to forge on by shocking the venom out of the ants.
Except then you'll find the ants.
First, he puts them in the shock box. Then he turns on the current, which really annoys them. The ants can't penetrate the surface with their stingers. So when they sting, small globs of smeared venom appear on the glass. Very small globs.
So what they do is they just basically ram their venom into the glass.
This is what we risked our lives for.
It all boils down to this wonderful sort of piece of dirty glass, right?
Yep.
Why is this important?
Well, we need the pure venom so that we can make an extract to desensitize people who are allergic. So it's basically just a way of preventing people from dying from anaphylaxis.
And you're one of the very few crazies out there who are willing to do this, yeah?
Yeah, it's a bit of an obsession now.
Venom makes the world a better place.
Australian-style venom is pretty mean, but the fact is, I'm after even more serious venom, and I'm not gonna find it here. I'm going face to face with what, for my money, is the ultimate stinger.
It's good good to be back home again in America. You know what I like about this place? The Wild West. It's a land of the free and home of the... Well, it's home of some of the most poisonous bugs I can think of.
What's the point of venom if it doesn't have an easy way to penetrate the enemy? Lots of creatures use the very efficient stinger. But spiders, they got the fang. And it's here, in the good old US of A, where you find some of the biggest fangs around.
So the thing about tarantulas, let's be honest, okay? These things don't have very powerful venom, but what they do have is the fangs, the delivery system. So they give an embrace to their prey with these two fangs, and they basically drive spikes into the back or whatever part of the body. And then they inject a little venom just to bring things up a little bit, you know, pop, pop, pop. And they kill their prey that way.
So the potency of venom often depends a lot on the size of the fangs. In these parts, it's the tiniest fangs that deliver the most lethal toxins, like the black widow spiders. Its fangs are minuscule, little thumbtack probes you can barely see even with magnification. They can't do much damage, but the stuff that flows out of them can. Black widow venom is 15 times more toxic than a rattlesnake's. She's got the nastiest spider venom in North America. My search for the most potent poisons takes me to a quiet, suburban home outside Phoenix, Arizona.
Behind this door are over 100,000 venomous spiders. This is Spider Farm.
Chuck Christensen and his family seem to lead normal lives, but they share their home with the most venomous spiders on the planet. Chuck is the dad. He captures, breeds, and inspects the spiders. Katrina is the daughter. She helps raise the maggots to keep the spiders properly fed. Anita is the mom. She's the milkmaid. She restrains the black widows and then electrocutes the venom out of them. The trick is to extract pure venom and not the regurgitated maggots.
So you have to concentrate 100%. Otherwise you don't get any venom. You get lots of regurgitate from a spider.
Can't have spider puke in that venom.
No. This poison is the family's livelihood. They sell it to companies that turn it into anti-venom. It brings in $15 a microliter. That's $2 million per dry ounce.
Sounds pretty lucrative, doesn't it? But the quantity of venom in each black widow is really, really small.
Running a spider farm is not without its hazards, like getting bit by a black widow. It rarely happens, but when it does, it's bad news.
The worst pain you have is like having a Charlie horse 10 times over, okay? Where the muscle is getting this massive instruction just to contract, 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 okay? And so the muscle just goes tighter and tighter and tighter, and it feels like almost to the point like it feels like it's going to break the bone, okay? It can be incredibly painful.
Chuck shows me his prized collection of Western black widows. These are the largest widows in the world. Chuck is crazy enough to handle them, but he claims he knows how to without them biting. Still, accidents happen.
The easiest thing to do is just to grab the spider and just cup it in your hand, okay, like this, and it will quiet down. Okay, she's okay. See a little kink in her leg there. Okay, she's biting. She just bit. She just bit. Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay, see a little bit of a little bump where she bit here?
Yeah, see that.
Okay. I can feel the venom going in. I got pain from here to here. See, I've been handling it for a good quarter century, okay? And I could be eating my words 2 hours from now as you rush to the hospital.
Wow, Spider-Man, you're strange. So, I'll bet you are wondering whether or not I'm going to pick up one of those spiders. No. I'm going in.
I don't know anyone who would voluntarily take a bite from a deadly spider. But surprisingly, more and more people are experimenting with other kinds of venom on their own bodies. One person's poison is another's medicine.
There's over 60,000 bees in this hive, each with the ability to deliver a potent sting. Most people avoid them for exactly that reason, but not everybody.
Rhea Carlson has had beehives since she was 12 years old. Over the years, she's gotten stung a lot and liked it. She's convinced honeybee venom contains chemicals that relieve pain. Now her bee clinic is open for business. Today, she's going to work on me. Lucky me.
Those are live bees with stings in them, right?
Oh, yes. They're live and they do have stings. They are armed. Okay, I just want you to relax. And you said that you're complaining of some tendinitis from repetitive motion and computer work.
So you just want to have a bee sting me there, right? And poisons will go all through my body, right?
Healing agents.
Yeah, that's why I said poisons.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they're ready to go.
They're armed and dangerous. Here I go.
Here we go.
Ah! Whoa! Whoa! You leave the stings in there, and of course the organs. It's just that little pump is pumping venom there. I can feel it. It's quite hot, actually, in a cold way.
This hurts me, but it's a lot worse for the honeybee. They sting as a last-ditch effort at defense. The bee dies, but the stinger lives on, pumping venom into the enemy. Sometimes for as long as 20 minutes. The detached stinger is powered by muscles that contract around the sac of venom. I'm not sure if it's doing anything for my tendinitis, but I guess I have to take a few more stings to feel the effects.
I normally get stung between 20 to 40 times, 3 times a week.
After maybe 40 to 60 stings, my body just got used to it.
Within a matter of a month, a total of about 200 stings and phenomenal change.
Rhea treats patients with everything from arthritis to cerebral palsy. They're taking a chance on venom, hoping it will alleviate pain.
I have cerebral palsy. Oh my God, it's killing me, it hurts. I have multiple sclerosis. Feeling good is one of the symptoms I love from the bee stings.
Of course, bee sting therapy is controversial. Proponents say the venom is like nature's perfect drugstore, stocked full of anti-inflammatories and immune boosters. In preliminary research, scientists have isolated melatonin, a peptide that produces cortisone. Cortisone relieves pain by blocking inflammation. Studies show that bee venom is 100 times more potent than hydrocortisone. Still, most Western scientists say bee sting therapy is nothing more than faith healing. But for aficionados, it's a lifesaver. If bee venom is in fact an effective medicine, it raises the question, what other uses for venom are out there, yet to be discovered? Problem is, it takes money and motivation to find them, and a death wish to get close enough to capture them. I'm going into the heart of the Amazon to seek out venom on the wing. This is a stinger that doesn't want to be messed with, and if it is, it will seriously mess with you.
See that guy over there? That's John Wenzel, wasp expert, and he's promised to show me some of his friskier subjects.
John and I go way back. We've always been a little competitive in a professional, friendly way.
Don't move too far back, Mr. Chicken.
Okay. John challenged me to scope out one of the most feared insects in this rainforest. How could I say no? John's interested in the medicinal potential of venom. It's dangerous work, and he's been stung by just about everything, but not a poika, the night wasp. This wasp is one of the largest in the world, but what really sets it apart? It's a night stalker. With its acute sense of smell and gigantic eyes, it glides through the darkness, tracking down its prey, mostly other insects. It not only uses venom to kill and defend, but to signal to members of the colony. While flying, it will release a spray of venom, leaving a chemical trail for the others to follow. If a scout detects a threat, it raises its stinger and releases a drop of venom. The chemical alarm calls the other wasps to their battle stations. Suddenly, John stops in his tracks.
There it is.
The dreaded apoika. Sometimes the most beautiful things are also the most terrifying.
These are really bad. Everybody knows them, everybody leaves them alone.
Well, I've certainly heard from lots of people that their sting can be, how you say, painful.
Yeah, this is the most painful non-lethal sting. These are really terrible. And we're going to collect that nest, but first we're going to see just how aggressive they are. We're going to give them a little target.
Okay.
We're going to put something between them and us. We're going to use a balloon. And the fervor with which they attack this balloon will give us an idea as to whether we should back off.
The goal is to sneak in and collect the wasps so we can learn more about their venom. Of course, this is a piece of cake.
So, how many wasps do you think are in that nest?
I think probably about 200.
And they all sting, right?
Well, 4 or 5 times each.
So that's about 500 stings per person, right?
Yeah, if something goes wrong.
And these are like really nasty stings?
This is the worst.
Every colony is different. The balloon test shows us this colony's level of aggressiveness. If they pop it, that means they're way too irritable for us to get in close. If they don't pop the balloon, we can quietly slide in and grab the nest.
If it gets intense, you better run away.
Okay, well, all right, I think what I'll do is I'll be standing back here just to make sure that everything's clear.
Don't move too far back.
Oh, I won't. I'll just stand here. So, Wenzel, do you think your little experiment worked?
Well, they didn't like that at all. Every single one of them left, they all came for us.
Well, what worries me is all these scouts that are zooming around our head.
Outnumbered and outgunned, you have to know when to calmly slip away. Because it means we'll live to take absurd risks another day. Absurd risks? You bet. Because if you're going to unlock the mysteries of venom, you've got to get close to it and let it get close to you. Venom stuns, kills, it may even heal. It's a bizarre and amazing weapon. It's nature's deadly cocktail. And that's why I love bugs. They never stop surprising me. The story doesn't end here. It can't. Because you never know what mind-boggling creepy crawly is going to pop up next. And wherever the journey takes me, you can be sure of one thing. If there's a many-legged beast poised to attack, I'll be there.